Welcome everybody back to another review. Terrell here, back to talk about another Saban Films movie. Seems to be on my list. Yeah, I'm exclusively doing all Saban films for some reason, and I'm not mad about it. But it is what it is, right? For the new movie Dark Asset coming to theaters September 22nd. Video on demand and on demand, which apparently they're on two different things, but that's VOD and on demand. So coming to theaters and the other platforms as well. So let me before I even get into it, let me give you guys a description. Let me read this description for you because I want to make sure I get this 100% right. In this adrenaline-filled action film, an ordinary soldier becomes the subject of a top secret experimental program. Under the guise of enhancing his combat abilities, the program transforms him into a lethal living weapon. As the John Doe delves deeper into the project, he uncovers the horrifying truth behind the program's objectives and the dark intentions of its creator. Fueled by a thirst for justice and driven by a desire for vengeance, the soldier breaks free from his captors and embarks on a relentless mission to dismantle the program while navigating a dangerous web of betrayal, conspiracy, and high stakes action. Rated R for violence. That is the description of the movie that is given by the people themselves that created this movie. So this is official. This is the official statement. Um, Boy, if I read that, I wouldn't have thought this was the same movie. As there's nothing that says, man, this felt like that. And again, this is not a spoiler review. This is a review for this movie. I'm gonna be as nice as I can. Movie starts off definitely like dive you right into the action. Like the movie pretty much kind of almost kind of like a heist movie where you see the planning, they kind of explain to you how it's done, what's going on, how it happened. This movie, but this is like a super spy program, chips and planet, take out your maker, type of movie. Again, the movie, this movie, they start off with the action, which I thought wasn't that great. Sometimes like it's good, and then it's just like, okay, we could have did better. This feels like a TV show. This feels like TV action, if that makes sense. Like it took like different like what you could do with like a TV budget and like a movie budget, and it felt like the impact. I didn't feel like that was real. The combat was kind of slow. I mean, overall, it was okay. I mean, I didn't hate it. It was just okay. Like it was just what it was. I mean, this is supposed to be in theaters, which, by the way, I personally wouldn't see in theaters. This is definitely like an on demand or let it hit somebody's streaming service if they decide to pick this up. This is a nice little fold your clothes and not pay attention to what's going on movie, because nothing that's going on in this movie really matters. They could have just not had story, and I wouldn't have noticed anything whatsoever. The way the story is told. So first of all, let me jump back. Movie is directed and written by Michael Winnick. He both directs this movie, and you probably seen his name, his credits on various other projects. If you haven't, please look him up, and you'll see kind of like the connection of like where I'm coming from with this, and like why I'm saying what I'm saying. If you guys don't know, let me give you some of his credentials real quick. Let me just give you some. I'm not gonna go. So obviously this, Guns, Girls, and Gambling, Malicious, and Deuces, and like I said, various other movies that he's written and directed. Um, I mean, the movie, I really like the concept of implanting a chip, doing the super soldier. I mean, we've seen this 1,000 times. From the 90s till now, we've seen this 1,000 times. We kind of know how this plays, but this didn't exactly play out the way I thought it would, and it wasn't as much action as I thought I was gonna get out of this movie, which I think that's probably why I'm more disappointed. Like, if you're gonna lean to that instead of like it being like this, because the majority of this movie is pretty much at a table. Um, after we get the initial fight scene at the beginning, we're kind of majority of the movies at the table, as other things happen and the story unfolds. But I gotta say, I was kind of bored. Especially from this high adrenaline action movie. I was expecting more. I was expecting car chases. I was expecting explosions. I was expecting more. And that's not at all what I got here, which is what I'm pretty upset about. And like I said, I didn't dislike the movie. It was just weak, unfortunately. Byron Mann, as you know from Arrow, Agents of Shield. If you've probably seen him on there, he's kind of like the star of this movie. Oh, I'm sorry, he is the star of this movie. He's playing John. He's playing out John Doe in the movie. A super spy action star. He can do it all. He's got the smart chip. He has got the most upgraded chip in his head. So he could do everything. He's supposed to be different. He's supposed to be the action man. If you guys remember that show, Action Man, back in the day, he's supposed to be the action man of this movie. And his skills seem very limited outside of just shooting people. I don't know. They really don't highlight a lot of like what he can do with the chip, what the chip can do. They kind of go over some of like the chip being able to predict certain things and to kind of tell you what stuff, because they had a bunch of face down cards in the movie, and somehow, like with the chip installed, they're able to tell you what's under the card, what's on the other side of the card, XYZ. And I feel like they never really get into like what the chip can do, and really show what it can do, which I think I was more disappointed about. Like, and just the way, like I said, the movie was just slow. Acting, I mean, you're gonna get what you're gonna get out of that. I mean, there's no excuse for acting to be just subpar, but I mean, that's just what it was, unfortunately. This is, like I said, it's a Bond film, so you see that logo, and I already got a certain mindset in mind when I see this. It's not fair to them. It's just the quality of movies that seem to come and follow every time I see the logo now. I just don't know what to say. Like I said, I mean, I love me some spy movies, Mission Impossible, and so on and so on. I love spy movies, especially when you start adding spy movies, Jason Bourne, stuff like that. Don't think this is what this is. This is. It's not. It's not even worth even comparing, because this movie does not compare, and it's not fair to the actors, because I feel like they did a really good job. I feel like I'm back and forth and I'm contradicting myself a little bit by saying it was good. It was some very good highlights of the movie. It's definitely not the worst thing you could watch. It's fun. Like I said, if you're sitting around full of laundry, you don't have anything to do, XYZ, something to do while it's on, I think it's enjoyable to watch that. But if you're like, man, if I'm going to the movies, I'm spending money, it wouldn't be this. Absolutely not. It's like an hour, 30-minute movie, and it probably could have been shorter, because it's probably going to be a 45-minute special. XYZ. A lot of the movie is wasted, I think. I could have got more action, which I wanted. Like I said, the scenes, I was hoping for more hand to hand. Like I said, a lot of it was just guys get shot, which I love. I love to see John Wick XYZ. I just would like to see at least pretend like there's impact to the bullets. That'd be nice. Sorry, kind of went on a tangent. Robert Patrick is in this movie, and we already know who Robert Patrick is. I don't even have to get into Mr. Terminator 2 himself. Just in Peacemaker, one legendary actor. He's in this. He's the scientist in this, and he's just there. I mean, he's older now. He's just there, and he just kind of brings nothing to this movie at all for me. Even with his name on the marquee, with the movie, it just does nothing, unfortunately. Robert Patrick, I mean, get your money, man. But this ain't it. Helena Mattsson is also in this movie. Helena Mattsson was in Iron Man 2 and God knows how many other movies. Surrogates. She's in The Rookie. General Hospital. She's played a lot of different roles over the years, but she's in this movie, and I'm not going to. Well, I guess I can. She plays Jane in the movie. She's John Jane. She's the other party that is in the movie, and she's a part of the conversation that you get. All the women in this movie are attractive. I mean, that's just what I was saying. I mean, it's movie, right? Like, but all the women in this movie, it's like no normal looking people in this movie. I don't think, like, everybody's super spy, everybody's super attractive. The cars look nice. It feels very small budget too. Like, it feels like they had like 3 locations and that was it. Like it was like the lab, the bar, outside, and that was it. There was like 3 locations. So they probably filmed this movie on like a less than $5,000 budget. If I didn't know the other stuff that was in this movie, I would definitely claim that was that, because yeah, outside of the extras and the soldiers and stuff they had, it didn't feel like they put a lot of money into this movie. The CG with the chip and stuff like that is probably the most expensive part of this entire movie. And I'm not trying to go in on it, but look, Helena and Byron they put in some work in this movie fight wise. I think was pretty good. But like I said, I just wanted more of that in this movie. Like I said, coming to theaters September 22nd. Everybody did a good job. There was a song at the beginning because they do a cold open, which I was like, man, that cold open sucked. You know how like Mission Impossible does like that thing and then it jumps to the title. Yeah, they do that here. They play a song Upside featuring Shawnee. I try to find like the lyrics, but that's pretty decent song that I felt. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie was hearing that song. I think they played the beginning and the end here. But man, this movie not hitting it, man. Like I said, not something I want to watch again. Let me know what you guys thought once this movie comes out. Like I said, on the 22nd. Let me guys know what you thought about in the comments below. If you had the same feelings as me, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I should just accept it for what it is. Let this be the Sharknado of spy movies. But yeah, like I said, just more action. Didn't need to be overdue, but just more action scenes. I think they could have did a little bit better. I was expecting to see more. It was a lot of they try to go back and explain stuff as the movie goes on. And I just wish it was a little bit more there. It felt very bare bones. If that's what it felt bare bones. That's probably the best way to say that. It just could have been more. Like I said, I liked the concept. I liked. That's probably about it. I like the actors that are in it. But as far as the movie itself, not worth a trip to the movies. Catch it on VOD, on demand. Catch it on stream if it ever hits. But this ain't worth the price of a movie ticket in a theater. But on that note, you heard Terrell here. Like I said, leave me a comment and let me know what you thought about the movie. Dark Asset coming to theater September 22nd, VOD on demand by Saban Films. Written by your boy Michael Winnick. So you know what to look for next time you see one of his movies. But like I said, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought below. And I'll see you guys next time for another wonderful review. Probably for more Saban Films. And I'll see you next time. See you.